In this video, we're going to learn how to do a wrapped stitch bind off. This bind off can be used at the end as a traditional bind off, or you can use it in the middle of a pattern to bind off stitches for a thumb, or if you're doing armhole shaping or something along those lines. So we're going to knit a few stitches to get over to the stitches that we want to bind off, because in our sample we're not going to bind off all the stitches. So first you're going to slip the first stitch purlwise. So that means you're going to insert the needle as if to purl and slide the stitch off the left needle. Then you're going to bring your yarn forward. Then you're going to slip the stitch back onto the left hand needle. Then you're going to slide the yarn to the back of the work. So this is going to wrap your working yarn around the base of that stitch that you're getting ready to knit. Then you're going to knit the stitch. So the yarn has been wrapped around the stitch, and then you're knitting the stitch. So you can see we've got this extra little wrap right there. Then we're going to slip the next stitch purlwise again. We're going to bring the yarn to the front of the work. Then we're going to slip the stitch back to the right hand needle. We're going to slide the yarn again to the back of the work. Then we're going to knit that stitch. So we've now wrapped and knit 2 stitches. Then we're going to slip the first stitch over the second stitch, binding the stitch off. So let's do that one more time. We're going to slip the first stitch as if to purl, bring the yarn forward, slide the stitch back to the right needle, put the yarn back, knit the stitch, then bind the stitch off or slide the first stitch over the second stitch. Let's do that one more time. Slip the first stitch as if to purl, bring the yarn forward to the front of the work, slide the stitch back to the left needle, bring the yarn back to the back of the work. Again, your working yarn is wrapped around that stitch. Then knit the stitch. So you have a wrap and a knit stitch. Then slide the first stitch over the second stitch, binding off the first stitch. One more time. Slip the stitch as if to purl, yarn forward, slide the stitch back, yarn back, knit the stitch, slide the first stitch over the second. So you can see it creates a nice bound off edge. It's also a pretty stretchy bind off. It also creates a nice little texture to the front, making it really easy to work into these stitches later if you need to. It's a really easy bind off. It's the wrap stitch bind off.